And he's sure got a lot of wiggle power. Look at all those segments.
Huh?
Worms' bodies are divided into little sections called segments, which are like muscles that help them to burrow in the soil.
Oh!
So what are you gonna do with your new worm, George? You wanna race Fast Freddy? The proper way to have a challenge race is on neutral territory, not in any racer's home yard. On your mark, get set, go worms! Dig, Freddy, dig!
Did I hear worm race?
Worm race!
Go, Freddy! Dig, dig, dig!
Go! What's George's worm's name? Oh, okay.
Go, Freddy, go! Here comes Fast Freddy! And the winner is...
Oh, ah!
Wow, city slang! The winner is George's worm by a segment!
George had the perfect place to keep his pet worms.
That could work. Except worms need to dig, and I don't think they can dig through your sheets, George. Garden soil. Excellent choice. Coffee grounds will make the soil rich and airy.
Hey, George!
Huh?
Big worm race at Lake Wanna-Sink Lake. Bring your racer.
Bet you can't beat Mr. Wiggly.
Worm fever had spread throughout the countryside.
They make my soil better, and that makes better veggies in my garden.
Since all you cheering worm racers scare the fish at the lake, I'm going fishing in the river.
Don't forget your lunch, dear.
Yeah.
Come on, guys! It's time for the championship race!
Worm race! Worm race! Worm race! Worm race!
We're ready when you are, George. Oh, no! Mr. Quinn took your worms instead of his lunch.
I'm starved. I wonder what the missus packed for me this time. Worms. Well, the missus packed me some prime bait. Now that there is love.
There was no time to lose.
Catfish. George? Come here. That's a good monkey. Well, hey, is that my lunchbox? Oh, then this must be your worm farm. Good timing, I must say.
Dig, Mr. Wiggly, dig!
And the new worm racing champ is... George's
With the championship won, George felt his worms deserved to retire to the garden and help the roses grow.
Worm racing isn't the only sport in town. You'll find a new hobby.
Hey, George! Ready for the frog hopping race?
George couldn't believe his eyes. He'd never seen such interesting stuff in one room before.
George, I'm sorry, but you'll have to play with that later. Right now, it's circle time. That's right! So today, let's share some of our favorite movements. Allie, would you like to start?
Oh, yes. My favorite movement is a forward, backbend, walkover handstand.
That was lovely. George, what kind of movements do you like to make? Careful, George, not so... It's all right, George. I know it was an accident. We'll fix it later.
All that morning, George tried to learn the rules of kindergarten.
Here's the castle. Here's the moat. Here's where the horses live.
This is wonderful. Except we don't stand on the sand table. On the water table either.
By lunchtime, George had discovered something. Kindergarten is harder than it looks.
You're a monkey, George. You're just not used to kindergarten.
George wanted to be a monkey who was good at kindergarten. What could he do? George had an idea. Instead of drawing a castle, why not build one? A castle for Mrs. Gold to live in.
What you doing, George?
What's he doing? George,
Oh, you want to build a castle for Mrs. Gold? Yay! Let's go!
Maybe castles weren't allowed in kindergarten. Maybe he should ask.
The bookshelves, the water, not a problem. But sand and a carpet, that's a problem.
Mrs. Gold, George wants to know if he can build a castle instead of draw one.
Sure. I'll be right there.
Let me tell you about carpets. First, you got your shags. Then there's your
It's okay,
area rug
George.
family, which is divided into the short pile and the deep pile.
It's not easy building a castle, but George found a way. With bookshelves and blocks for walls, and a curtain for the roof. And every castle needed a window. George's school tool made a great construction level. last, the castle was ready. All it needed was a tree.
Yes, well, thank you. That was most informative. I'm sure it will look... Oh, my!
It was George's idea, but we helped.
When you said a castle, you meant a castle. Oh, this is wonderful. It's amazing what you can do when you use your imagination and work together and have a monkey to help you.
Oh. Yay for George! Yay for George!
It was good being a guest monkey, but it was also good being a plain old regular monkey on his way home.
Good. The A-frame. Nailed it. And one last hurdle. Pedigreed pooch perfection. Thank you, Hundley. Class dismissed. Good luck tomorrow.
George thought he should probably practice the course with Charky. What was distracting Charky? A tennis ball.
Sorry, George, but you can't practice now. I have to clear the field for outdoor ballet class.
George was going to have to find some other way to practice the course.
Oh, you need paper? Sure.
George had decided to draw the course so he could make another one just like it. The obstacles looked kind of familiar. The A-frame looked like a triangle. George could draw that with 3 straight lines. The seesaw was like a smaller triangle with a line on top. Now all George needed to do was build the course.
I think I'll take the stairs.
Hundley wondered what George was doing to his roof. George and Hundley tried follow the leader. They tried cold dog nose.
Oh, how did obedience training go, George? Wow, I bet she'd do anything for one of these biscuits.
Would Charky really do anything? The next morning, Charky did everything perfectly, thanks to George and the biscuits.
Hi, George. I'm back from the concert. How's Charky doing? George, you did it! Who says you can't teach a new dog old tricks? You're next, Charky.
40 seconds. Excellent. And now our final student. This should be interesting. 5 seconds.
The dog biscuits were all gone. What was George going to do?
Oh no, I can't look.
A tennis ball? Maybe that would work.
20 seconds.
Oh, that's my puppy.
3, 4, 5 seconds. I don't believe it.
Only 2 more obstacles to go. Nothing could go wrong now.
Yay, George! Yay, Sharky!
40 seconds.
Oh no, pigeons. George couldn't compete with pigeons. Unless...
You did it! You finished the course! Good girl! Good girl! Do you think she was fast enough?
Sharky, I have no choice but to award you this diploma. You are now officially obedient. 59.9 seconds. Your techniques were rather unusual, George, but perfectly acceptable. Good work.
That's my Charky. So obedient. How could anyone think otherwise?
That bleep is now being picked up by the Mini's external microphone.
And the louder it gets, the closer you are to the bleeping gift.
I'll pilot the Mini from here.
Here I go, wave goodbye and say hello to a world I've never seen. Catch my jaw dropping from what I just saw in my wake or in a dream. There's nothing here to stop me, and I wanna see it all. I'm going down, 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 where the fish go to school and the plants are so cool. I'm going down, 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 where the turtles can fly, and I'm wishing that you could be underneath the waves with me.
Hey, George, do you see it? There's only one explanation.
When George retracted the grabbers, he saw the crabs run away. And then he saw something else.
That was a part of Wales. You okay?
Now that he had control, George took command. Because a monkey always gets his bleeping thing.
Sounds like he's getting warmer. He's chasing it.
Of course. George doesn't know the meaning of give up. Or dental floss.
The light went out, the bleeping stopped.
I'm afraid that means the battery died. You'll never find it in the darkness.
George was disappointed he couldn't find the gift. He went so deep, there was nothing down there at all. Nothing? There was lots down here living in the dark. And the fish were completely different from the ones he saw closer to the surface.
I'm going down, 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 where the fish go to school and the plants are so cool. I'm going down, 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 where the turtles can fly, and I'm wishing that you could be underneath the waves with me.
There were other lit-up fish, too. They were swimming around something. The recorder. George didn't know if they were just curious about that thing or helping him. But he couldn't have found it without the help of his glowing fish friends.
There he is, and he's got it. All right!
I put a new battery in. All the information was saved.
We asked the right monkey for help.
Thought you might like a copy of the last thing it recorded.
It's always nice to have pictures of your friends. And how many friends can light themselves for a perfect picture every time? George didn't know there was an even bigger bin for recycling. If he could find enough recycling to fill it, the doorman would win the contest for sure. The next morning, George went hunting for more recycling.
I think we're in good shape to win this contest, Hunley.
I think that would be wonderful.
You do?
The more buildings where tenants recycle, the better. And maybe you could start some reuse programs like we have. Want to see?
Sure.
We reuse everything we can think of. Shopping bags, magazines. We never throw out packing peanuts.
It's so organized.
Anything to make the planet a little neater. You really have collected a lot.
Have I? I have.
Nobody got their newspapers this morning. Weird.
There you are. We have a food thief in the building. I got a grocery delivery and someone took half of it.
What?
Someone took my paint pails. How can I mix paint with no pails?
Where are the Wiki Pizza coupons? They're always on the front table.
Huh?
My shampoo!
My pails! I need my pails!
I don't understand. What?
Pizza coupons.
Oh, boy. George?
Those things are unused. Did you take them just to win the recycling contest?
No, I don't understand. I don't know how they got here.
Recycling is about saving the planet, not winning a shiny trophy.
Oh, of course. I don't know how these extra papers and containers got here.
How can I mix
have a
paint with no
food thief in the
pails?
building.
They're always on the front table.
I think I know where the extra recycling came from. George, you recycle things after you use them.
People need to read their papers and eat their food first.
Then they go in the recycling bin.
Why, thank you, George.
Since some of our recycling was, unfairly obtained, I think the best thing is for us to share.
Oh, that is so sweet. After you're done, you can come and polish my trophy.
We may have tied this year, but next year will be another story.
Oh, yes. Our building will win outright.
Oh, really?
Yes, we've already ordered larger bins for every floor.
Really? That's not recycling, George.
Here we are, all the comforts of home. Even a shower.
George?
No worries, George. We get rain 6 months out of the year, so the tents are waterproof.
What's that?
Cook.
Oh, I've never heard of an animal called a cook.
Cook isn't an animal. Cook's a cook.
Wow, that was neat. Thanks, that was a great meal. Okay, I'll set up our beds.
These were the biggest footprints George had ever seen. He wondered who or what made them. Everyone else's footprints went one in front of the other. But these footprints were side by side. And they were really far apart. Was by hopping. Rabbits hopped. Maybe it was a giant rabbit. Or clowns have big footprints. Maybe it was a hopping clown. Or maybe it was a giant hopping clown rabbit.
George, it's bedtime. You want to stay here? Are you sure? Okay. Oh, wait. Better leave my hat here, since you won't be around to get it back for me.
Bye, George.
Be a good little monkey.
There were those footprints again. Only now, the giant clown rabbit had a tiny friend. It looked like they'd stopped here for a drink of water, but then the smaller footprints disappeared. Could it be? When clown rabbits drank water, they could fly? The footprints weren't made by a hopping clown rabbit. They were made by a whatever this little guy was. They were back at camp. Hopping sure made a monkey thirsty. Maybe his friend was thirsty too. If only he had a bowl to feed him with.
It'll dry out and be as good as new.
George's new friend looked cute in the man's hat, but he couldn't keep it. It was the bigger whatever it was. His small friend couldn't fly. He'd just been getting a ride. George had to get that hat. They were pretty still when they were drinking, but that watering hole was too far away. By the time George got there, the animals might be gone. If only he had his own watering hole. And then George realized he did. He just needed someplace to put it. And a lot of water to put into it. He hoped his friends were thirsty. George was happy to have the man's hat back, but he was sad his new friends ran off.
George, you won't believe it. Sea cows are amazing. You want to see?
Sea cow? That didn't look anything like a cow.
George, what happened to the rain cover on the tent? No worries, mate.
Yeah, long day. I could use a nice bath. There you go.
Oh, this day just keeps getting better. Turn around and I'll show you my favorite Australian animal.
His friends were back.
Those are kangaroos.
So that's what they were called.
They really like to eat grass. Just put it on the ground right beside you.
And that's when George decided kangaroos were his favorite Australian animal, too.
That's the Aussie way.
Hey, Allie, George, Bill, what are you doing up so early?
Looking for the Perseids.
Oh, they're beautiful. Have fun.
Yeah, this way. Keep your eyes open. The Perseids should be around here someplace. Grandpa said you can't miss them. Ooh! Shh.
Shooting stars!
Wow. Be sure to save some pictures for the Perseids, George. Okay, they're here somewhere. Do you see them?
No.
Bill, you go that way. Me and George will go this way.
Aye, aye.
He's waving. Bill's trying to tell us something. He's saying, go this way. That way? Yeah, that way. Hurry, George. Oh, what is it? Where are they?
Oh, I was saying there weren't any. It's my new signal. Watch. Shazoo Shazam. No Perseids over that way. Flim Flam Bam. Or that way.
Oh. Oogie Woogity Woogaboo!
What's that mean?
It means I can't tell what you're saying.
It took both hands just to keep his eyes open.
What are you three working on so hard?
Shh. It's a surprise, Grandpa.
Well, this should wake you up. My super spicy hot curry soup. Be careful. It's zowie hot.
No problem. I love spicy stuff. The spicier, the better.
Bill, do you think you should...
There, see?
Huh? What is it? What do you want, a napkin?
Bill was pointing because he needed a glass of water.
What is it, George? How is pass me the water a code? Water.
Oh.
George realized their code could be a lot simpler. One flash meant nothing here. 2 flashes. I heard a sound.
Hey!
It came from that direction.
Okay.
It came from that way.
George, that's great! It's so simple and clear. Not bad for a city kid.
So the next morning, with their flashlights and their new secret code, the trio set out to find the Perseids.
Okay. Oh, whoop. Sorry. Wow.
Hurry up. Operation Perseids is on. Go, go, go.
Nothing here.
One flash. Bill says there's nothing there. Oh.
2 flashes. That means they heard a sound. It came from over there. Ah!
Shh. You ready, George? Okay. George! Nothing. Nothing. All we have is a bunch of pictures
The
of...
Perseids.
What? Where?
Right there. The Perseids is the name of a whole bunch of shooting stars that you can see every August.
Wow! And George caught them on film. Pretty good for a city kid.
You're the best, George.
Oh, what a nice surprise, you three. Now, how about some cocoa to warm you up?
Uh-huh.
Is it spicy?
Oh, quite a show, huh?
Even though they weren't creatures who looked like purses, the Perseids, or nature's own flashing lights, were pretty amazing to see. Cities are noisy places. Double O Monkey couldn't hear or see Steve anywhere. Luckily, Super Spies used more than 2 senses. He'd use his nose. But there were a lot of sniffs to sniff. He'd need a smell to outsmell all the other smells.
He'll be done brushing his teeth any second. Whew. That's really strong. I hope this works. The recital is in 2 days.
Gotta go. To that place I go to do that thing I do that has nothing to do with dance recitals. Did Aunt Margaret wash my backpack?
Guess so.
Huh. She must have switched detergents. This is super smelly.
Double O Monkey could smell Steve from here. His tracking devices were working like a charm. Oh no, Steve's scent was drowned in a sea of similar smells. George would never be able to pick up Steve's trail.
I hope Charky is able to follow the crumbs. Otherwise, I'll be covered in whatever Steve's making me this time.
Steve's trail ended here. Which room was Steve in? He could smell the backpack, too.
Betsy's gonna love this.
Double O Monkey couldn't see through the window. Maybe he could feel what it was. It felt like a jar, and it was wet. Paint? That was a weird good luck gift. Although Betsy did love to paint. Maybe Steve had a whole set of paints for her? George had to warn her. Double O Monkey was too late. Luckily, super spies are very fast on their feet.
This is for you.
It's beautiful. Thank you. But why'd you make me a vase?
Because it wasn't anything that could slop on you. Look, it's supposed to be you doing your solo. It sure was lucky you were here, George. That vase would have smashed into a zillion pieces.
Double O Monkey saves the day again.